Welcome to today's podcast episode, everyone. We've got a very exciting guest for you guys. For those of you just joining the podcast, we're E.N.G Media, and today I have Nijansh with me, co-founder and head of growth of Heizen. So, Nijansh, I just wanted to tell you thank you so much for joining us today on the podcast. I'm really excited to dive into what you guys are doing with AI agents and kind of how you're tying it into software development as well.
Thank you, Tyson, for having me. Excited to have this conversation.
Absolutely. So maybe we can start by you giving myself and the audience just a little bit of a background into kind of what you're working on at Heisen and really what your guys' core area of focus is.
Yeah, sure. We have started Heisen last year. We are building a new age AI-led services business for software development. The idea is pretty simple. Like most of the software and services industry or consulting industry in general is based on a lie, which is the billable hour model. With AI coming in, anything which works on an hourly basis, a per resource model doesn't really work right now. We need to have a more evolved model and more outcome driven since we have so many advances with AI coming in. So anything which disincentivizes you to be more efficient or move faster wouldn't really work. So it's kind of like paying your Uber driver to drive around in circles instead of just going to your place, right? You basically are incentivizing someone to take more time doing the same amount of work. So that's what we are doing with software, trying to move much faster, 10x faster, and on about at 20% of the cost which previously took.
Yeah, no, I love that too, especially for, non-technical based founders such as myself. If there's any kind of software product that I want to ship out in the future,
Yeah.
currently it's the pricing model is set up more along the lines of hourly. And as you mentioned, that's kind of a broken model because outcomes can be amplified with AI and the use of agentic AI specifically as well. So I know that you guys have some really awesome stuff that you're working on. And most recently as well, I seen that you guys raised 5K from Titan Capital. So I just wanted to tell you congratulations on that. And if possible, I would love to maybe dive into really what your vision is and kind of like why you guys raised that capital and what you are looking to accomplish, really.
Yeah, thanks, Tyson. Our model is outcome driven. What we mean by that is the atomic unit for delivery is a sprint. Sprint is a weekly set of deliverables which we give to a client. So what we do is we pair engineers with our suite of AI agents, which help them develop speed. But the human in the loop adds to the quality and an alignment in the process.
Yeah.
So what we have done is broken down the entire software development lifecycle into individual parts and an agent at each level. So it starts with a product manager agent, which basically lays down your product roadmap right off the call. You and I are having a discussion about what kind of requirements you have. It
Sure.
creates a transcript,
Oh,
it
wow.
summarizes it, but most importantly, it creates a product requirements roadmap right off the call.
Oh,
So
wow.
if someone is into software development or project management, they'll know that planning and scoping out requirements is the most amount of time taking. It takes weeks to figure out what is a high priority, what is low priority, and what kind of deliverables you want. So
100%.
that's the first agent we built to basically scope it out, what is required right off the call. So that almost brings in 70% uh, less times to basically get started. Then we have a coding agent which basically takes all these requirements, takes these user stories, and starts writing code. The next phase would be a DevOps agent which basically deploys everything to the cloud or wherever you want to deploy it. A testing agent ensures quality. So these four agents work in tandem with our team of engineers and move much faster while ensuring alignment.
100%. I appreciate you breaking down kind of what the process looks like and really the agentic AI stack that you guys are deploying along with your team of engineers to
Yeah.
work on some of these projects as well. So I could totally see why any founder would want to work with Heizen, because I imagine a lot of these projects and a lot of the software that they want to ship is probably often expensive on the current hourly model as well. So
Yeah.
one thing that I wanted to cover, and I always like to cover this on our podcast to show that people doing work with agentic AI, like these aren't just buzzwords. There's actual real impact being driven. And one thing that I would like to cover is maybe a successful case study of a project that you guys have worked on, or even a use case of where you've used this in your business. Is there any maybe that come to the top of your mind where you've been able to pair your agentic AI and your engineers, like both of those teams really at work to reach an outcome?
Yeah, definitely. So one of the most common use cases is creating products, all kind of products. So most of these companies are building AI tools these days. So helping them build their first version much faster, that's a common use case. To give you an example, we are also building a lot of internal tools for enterprises.
Oh, wow.
So one of our companies struggle with a lot of SaaS tools. They want to basically help their customer support teams integrate all of them together. Previously, as a company, you only have an option either to build internally using your own team or buy some off the shelf SaaS products. If you're a sales team, you would buy CRM like Salesforce or HubSpot, some SaaS tools like that. What AI has brought in the past couple of years is basically made it much more easier to build custom internal tools which integrates with these SaaS tools. So
Wow.
right now you have something in between where you can build your own tools internally while also integrating these off the shelf products. So in the same time which would take for you to onboard your company on a market off the shelf product, it's
Uh-huh.
so at the same time you can build your own stuff.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, as a company, it would make much more sense to build a custom CRM or customer support tool for yourself, and that's what we are doing for a lot of companies, where we are identifying their workflows, how they work currently,
Yeah.
figure out where the pockets are to basically automate stuff, and building custom tools which integrates with their workflows without disrupting any of them, and help them move much faster.
100%. No, that is awesome. I think that that's huge, especially for, revenue leaders, as you mentioned,
Yeah,
folks who are doing the marketing and sales, and they need to make sure that they have a workflow, a marketing workflow that actually is optimized and they're actually, able to get results and kind of scale from there. So the fact that you guys are coming in and building customized solutions, I think that that's huge and it's really needed. You mentioned off the shelf potential like software products. That usually isn't enough, alone in itself. And these marketing and sales team, not only do they not know or have the expertise of how they can have AI optimize their workflow, but I think that they don't have the time to do so
yeah,
either as
yeah,
well. So it's awesome to hear that that's what you guys are
yeah,
going in and doing for some of your enterprise clients. And
yeah,
I know that, this isn't your first rodeo. Like this is your second company up
yeah,
to this point. And with you kind of heading growth, I thought, and for context as well, our audience are mainly technical based founders and CEOs that are tasked with the responsibility of doing the marketing and sales for their software technology company now. So I'd be curious, and I know I don't want you to give away too much of your secret sauce, but could you maybe shed some insight into how you've been able to bring awareness to everything that Heisen is doing in this competitive AI market where everybody's promising customized workflows to these sales and marketing teams? Like, how are you guys differentiating yourselves and getting the opportunity to work on some of these awesome projects that you mentioned?
yeah, definitely. I think we have right now like once in a lifetime opportunity
Oh
where
yeah.
there's so much products to be built, so much software to be built in the past 10 years. Like people assume that AI is writing a lot of code and you won't need software engineers. But quite contrarily, there's a common concept called Jevons paradox, which basically states that the amount of software to be built increases much more times which each technology development,
Oh wow.
right? So if AI as a new tech has come in, you will identify much more products to be built which can help you move much faster. So there's huge amount of scope to be automated and people can work on. How
100.
we are differentiative ourselves is primarily through our sprint based model, our team of agents, and our delivery of custom tools. So we are not giving you something like just plug and play with your workflows. We identify work with you to identify where are the most pockets of most ROI for you, and
100%.
then build them custom for you. So identifying those niches where we can help you build and working on those. And since it's a weekly model, you see your progress really quickly. You week on week, you see something deployed, something usable for your team, and you don't have to wait 3 months or 6 months and figure out that something doesn't really work. You can course correct on the way on a week by week basis.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Maybe, you and I could have a conversation after this as well, because I know my business partner and I are trying to find ways that we're able to actually integrate AI into a lot of our marketing workflows. And as much as we want to templatize what we have to offer, it seems like a lot of the times we end up having a different scope of work for our different customers as well that kind of needs that level of customization, I guess, to be able
Yeah.
to because like you said, it's expensive. We don't want to hire this huge internal team of software engineers to build out these AI workflows. We would rather just work with those who are experts and can help us get the most leverage out of the AI that we want to use, I guess, in our company specifically. So it's interesting to hear what you guys are doing there. And I love your approach, like, human in the loop AI. And I think that it sounds like that's really of huge importance to you. Like it's almost like you're building out your AI agent. And correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys are building out your AI to really support your engineers and these enterprise teams specifically instead of being more technology focused and just letting the AI do all the automation and workflows themselves. Would you say that that's kind of the way you guys look at your
Yeah,
process?
yeah. So we believe in two truths, which we strongly believe on internally. One is however advanced AI gets, you will have some level of human judgment and human intuition involved in the process to
100%.
figure out what is the right solution and to guide AI in the right direction.
Yeah.
Second, what we believe is 2 or 3 years down the line, there won't be such specialist developers or front end or back end or a Java developer. No,
Uh-huh.
no specialization. There would be generalist engineers managing a team of AI agents across different specializations. So
Oh, wow.
I, as an engineer, 2 years down the line, would have a PM agent to basically figure out the roadmap, a coding agent to write code, a DevOps agent to deploy code,
Oh,
testing
wow.
agent to test code. But I would own the process across the entire stack. So I don't need specialization. Kind of like what an engineer manager does with a team of developers today. Those Instead of that, everyone who's graduated to a higher level where they manage a team of agents instead of people.
100%. And I know that it kind of depends as well, but a question that I always like to ask when people are considering, especially for software engineers, like, is AI going to create more jobs or is it going to take away our jobs? From what you're saying, it almost sounds like there's going to be more or new opportunity, and those that adapt will be able to take advantage of that in the market. And I mean, would you say that you think there will be more opportunity going into the future for software engineers or less?
Yeah, definitely. As I said, as per Jevons paradox, there's a huge amount of software to be built
Yeah.
across enterprises and across different new companies that are coming up with AI. So there's
100%.
huge amount of software to be developed. The role of a software developer will change, and you need to upskill yourself and figure out where you fit in the best. In terms of work to be done, there's huge amount of work.
100%.
And talking about the current condition today, I posted this about this also, that if you are a 10x engineer, there's huge demand for us. But if you are an average engineer, there's a huge penalty also. That's why a lot of
Oh,
layoffs
wow.
are happening. So you need to move away from being average to a 10x engineer by scaling yourself in AI.
Yeah.
But in terms of demand, there's a huge demand for everything.
100%. Yeah. And are you guys hiring any of these 10X engineers as well, like
Yeah.
from your perspective?
Yeah, one of our key pillars of this model is hiring the top 1% of engineers who are AI native. We basically have mechanisms in place using GitHub scores, using lead code, all these mechanisms have recruitment automation systems which identify these top AI native engineers. So what I mean by AI native engineer is,
Yeah.
previously, you had a specs document, a developer would see that, start writing code, and then move on in further in the process. An AI native engineer starts with an LLM,
Um,
gets the code generated, and then iterates and refines and then deploys. So there's an entire different workflow people are following right now using tools like Cursor, Replit,
uh,
and we are internally using our agents to do that. So
yeah.
different league of engineers who can really working with us.
100%. No, that is awesome. I could totally see the value that you guys are coming in and providing to the marketplace specifically. So that kind of leads me really to my next question. Does Heisen have any specific goals over the next 6 to 12 months, like any new initiatives that you're rolling out with your technology that we haven't mentioned yet on the podcast that maybe we could highlight?
Yeah, so two of our agents are live. It's free for everyone to use.
Oh,
It's
wow.
on product hunt. So we can use a PM agent, a coding agent to use that. With the recent fundraise, we are uh, right now testing our DevOps and testing agents, but
Nice.
we'll be live with those soon. So using that funds to basically build these products. These don't really fine tune models. We are building on top of LLMs. So each version of ChatGPT or Cloud comes in, our agents get better and
Oh,
produce
wow.
better results. So we are building on top of these models. That's primarily on the technology part, and rest. using our funds to basically find out those niches where there's the largest demand in enterprises for automation,
100%.
for building custom tools.
100%. Yeah. I mean, I've seen everything from healthcare to manufacturing to ERP. I mean, you name it. I think I'm fully confident that you guys will be able to find the niche that works well for you as well. And I think it's exciting to hear that like you guys are going to invest back into the technology. You're going to continue hiring more talented team members. So I'm excited to keep up with everything that Heisen has coming forward in the next 6 to 12 months. And considering that we kind of covered your goals as well, I always like to ask this question specifically again because I think that it helps our audience of technical based founders understand like, and everybody's kind of at a different stage, but like for you guys, let's just say hypothetically we could wave a magic wand and you could solve one thing in the business right now that might be getting in the way of your guys' goals of improving that technology or maybe finding that specific niche to really target. Do you know maybe what that one big domino would be? Like if you guys were to have solved it, like everything else would kind of just fall into place.
Think pretty much we are confident on our model to deliver using both AI and AI native engineers. But
Gotcha.
the key challenge which we are facing right now is educating customers and enterprises to move away from a billable hours model. These models
Uh,
have existed for over 30 years now, more than that actually. And when talking with customers, they still ask like, how what is the hourly rate, how many hours you're going to deploy, how many resources you're going to deploy. And
yeah,
what we say is you don't have to worry about it. We are more outcome focused. If we can do it with 5 engineers or 50 engineers, we
100
take that responsibility off of you and you just focus on the outcomes. So I think educating customers to be more receptive to newer models coming in with AI and reap the benefits out of it. That's a key challenge right now.
100%. I think for me, it's a no-brainer. I mean, you guys are shipping software 10 times faster than anybody else. Your pricing is more along the lines of being outcome-based instead of hourly. So I feel like if you're able to get in front of these enterprise teams in a meaningful way, leading with value, the more that you have these conversations with your ICP, once you guys kind of fine-tune who that is, I
Yeah.
don't see what would be the problem of them wanting to move forward with
Yeah.
you guys as well. So hopefully this podcast can kind of help educate the market as we share it across social media on really where you see Heisen going in your mission and your vision. And then
Yeah.
also that like the actual impact that you guys are making and that the technology is legit. So, for anybody that wants to learn more about Heisen or they want to maybe connect with you as well outside of the website, what would be the best social media platform you would say for the audience to go and connect?
Yeah, I'm on X. I'm on LinkedIn, pretty much active, post every day. My Twitter handle is at Nijansh, as in the name, spelling of my name.
Nice.
Same for LinkedIn. So pretty responsive there. You can reach out to me there.
I'll be sure to include links in the description of this
Yeah,
video, your guys' social media. But also you'd mentioned that people can try your guys' technology almost on
yeah,
like a free trial basis as well. If there's
yeah,
any links to that, I would be happy to include that in the
yeah.
video as well. I think that'd be really interesting to see.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. We are live on Product Hunt, so you can search for Heisen page. We'll have
Nice.
all our products listed there, so you can just feel free to try them out and give us feedback.
Heck yeah. And if you guys do, take Neon up on that, feel free to drop a comment on this video in regarding the technology, how you think it could best fit for your team, kind of for the goals that you guys have specifically. I know that I'll definitely try it out myself as well. And so I highly recommend that you guys do go check out Heisen and all of the awesome work that they're doing. And, I just wanted to tell you, thank you so much again for coming on our podcast and sharing your insights. Really, the biggest thing and our main goal moving forward is to attach our brand to companies in the AI space that are actually making real impact. So I felt like we were able to get one step closer with, this podcast here today. So I really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, Tyson. I think with this podcast, will help people figure out more ways to work with AI. And there's a lot of information out there. So help them figure out what's the signal and what's the noise.
100%. Yeah, based off the feedback we get off of this and any podcast you do in the future, maybe you guys should start your own podcast too as well, or like where you're able to answer some of these questions and get in front of your ICP as well in a meaningful way. That'd be awesome to see.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. That's something we are looking at.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, there you have it, guys. Like I said, drop a comment if you have any questions. But other than that, we will catch you in the next video.